Good evening. Thank you for the invitation. All protocol observed. I'm just going to go straight to the talk today. I've invested heavily in personal development. Not only have I started as a business person, I was enrolled for MBA with Henley and currently doing my executive MBA with UCT. My main focus is always on personal development because when we develop ourselves as people, we are able to be productive. And I am being given a task, which is to how can SAIGA members improve their efforts, which is service standard, to be recognized as a competent, adequate, and possible to operate in the broader public spectrum. My approach is through personal development. I have 10 points where through the literature that I go through, and I also added my own personal touch into them, that makes an individual to be self-driven, to be self-focused. I'll start first by the power of a purpose. The power of a purpose. This word, purpose, means the intention or the aim or function of something or the thing that something is supposed to achieve. While the meaning of the power is the ability or capacity to do something or act in a particular way. So when you say the power of a purpose, we simply say the ability to intentionally function or perform in a certain way in order to achieve objective goal. You see, purpose is the reason why we're doing what you are doing, why we exist, the assignment that is bigger than who we are. You see, when you have a purpose or the power of a purpose, it's able to take you even when things are hard. When your day it's hard, it's only the purpose that can take you to another level. Why? Because the purpose is beyond yourself as an individual. It's beyond yourself as a leader. It's beyond yourself as a professional. When you understand the power of your purpose, why you are doing what you are doing, it would take you beyond certain things, especially when the past pulls you back. Distractions will pull you on the side, and it's only the purpose that can see you through. Without a purpose, it will be easy to quit. It will be easy just to do things because they need to be done. A purpose gives a meaning to what we're supposed to do. Some of us, our purpose is to be the first in our family so that you can be seen as a professional, an effective professional. Some of us, our purpose is to becoming an effective leader where people can see through you that yes, in this time, effective leadership does exist. Some of us, our purpose is to give direction. Another thing that we take it for granted, we are living in a purposeful manner, and someone is always looking at you, how you carry yourself. If you think that no one is looking at you, the least your children are looking at you. Without a purpose, it becomes difficult to carry yourself. You can trade off to anything because of there's a lack of purpose. The tragedy, what Dr. Miles Monroe said, tragedy in life is not death, but life without a purpose. Because if you don't have purpose, you don't have the drive. You don't have the goal. You don't understand why you have to do what you're doing. And anything, anytime can crush you. My second point, can you go next? Second point, after purpose, is the power of Self-confidence. Self-confidence. Self-confidence comes in small daily disciplines. You don't become self-confident because of you do bigger things. When you do your task daily to the ultimate best, that gives you self-confidence. Whatever task that has been given to you on a daily basis, when you give it your best, when you compete with you, whether it's writing a report, when your report leaves you, knowing quite well that you have done your best on that report, that also gives you the power of what you call a self-confidence. Because of if you can do small disciplines with small things, bigger things automatically follow through. In business, we say that if you respect the service that you give, then bigger business will follow because of what you are giving yourself. Self-confidence grows when you feel good about yourself. What makes you feel good about yourself? No peripheral things will make you feel good about yourself. No vanity things will make you feel good about yourself. You will feel good about yourself when you know you are able to deliver. When you stand and knowing quite well that whatever task, how big or how small it is, you are able to deliver. That gives you what you call a self-confidence. The willingness to do whatever it takes to win, even if it means to go extra mile, even if it means for you to enroll and learn more, even if it means for you to take a textbook. That's self-confidence. Self-confidence is about looking after your health, understanding that your health is your commodity, it's your currency, that without the health, all the ambitions that you're hoping to achieve can never be achieved. That self-confidence of taking a walk and just one day, tomorrow you're taking another walk, another day taking another walk, that builds your self-confidence. Those are attributes towards leadership. Those are attributes towards effectiveness in our own personal development. The ability to rise above any circumstances. That's self-confidence. Self-confidence is easy said when you don't have challenges coming your way. Another self-confidence is, how do you rise after you have faced a brick wall? How do you rise after you have faced a negativity, a force of gravity that actually pushes you down towards whatever aspirations you had? Self-confidence of you being able to wake up tomorrow and still go for your journey. That is one of the attributes. Good health is self-confidence. Studying is self-confidence. Being aware of your mentality or your mental state, it's self-confidence. Being open-minded, it's self-confidence. Within, I can't be able to see the quote, but it's a small thing that contributes towards leadership. It's okay. Another one, it's enthusiasm. Enthusiasm meaning a feeling of energetic interest in a particular subject or activity and an eager to be involved. You see, enthusiasm is an iceberg. What you see on people that are enthusiastic, it's a 10% of the 90% that is inside them. It starts with the purpose, understanding your purpose, why you are doing what you are doing, and for what you are doing that. Part of that 90% that cannot be seen with people is the self-confidence that is within you, being able to be disciplined with small tasks. Then you are able to stand very boldly wherever you are doing, to be enthusiastic with whatever task that is being given. It's an iceberg, knowing that you are capable to complete any task that you are given to yourself or you are given. What you say, you deliver. They say that enthusiasm is an alignment of the heart and the mouth, something that we do not have, where people promise something they can't deliver. When your heart is aligned with your mouth, you know that your mouth says a lot about you, which builds your character, something that is going to come, which builds your ethics, builds who you are and what you're about. Success consists of failures to failure without losing enthusiasm. Winston Churchill. How do you move every day without losing why you are doing what you are doing? It's the 90%. It's something that cannot be bought. It's something beyond money. It's something beyond power. It's something you have to invest in and the skill that you have to go after. The other point that makes a professional or attribute to what a professional or a leader is the expertise. You know, when you're a professional and you call yourself an expertise, it's because of you go beyond means in whatever task and whatever job that you've been given. No one is being called an expert. An expert is a person that goes far and beyond what is given to them. The world says we want to receive, but we don't understand the rule of the world. The universal law is those that give, they receive. You want to receive, you have to give. You have to give your professional. You have to give yourself for you to be able to receive. And that's one of the aspects, or that's one of the attributes of being an expertise. You can't just receive without giving. And most of us, we just there where we are expecting to receive without really giving. What is it that you're giving in your profession? What is it that you are going far and beyond where you are so that you can receive more? We're not going to call you a leader when we know that you're not going beyond. Yes, you may fool us for some time, but then time will tell and we will see through you because there's no expertise. Willing to be the best you can possibly be. An expert competes with themselves. An expert's report is never the same because they compete with their own report that they have done last time. An expert's leadership always changes, and that's why one of the leadership skills for an expertise is call it a situational leadership, where an expert is going beyond to try to prove that who they are. Remember, as a people, we are a brand. An expert understands that when I put my signature into something, I put my being into that. When I put my name is the one that is there. I like making this example of Dr. Esther Mahlangu when we had an opportunity to work with her. And we were like, as a brand, can you please do one of the arts? And we were so pushed behind the deadline. And she comes to us and says, you came here because of what I'm good at. And because of what I'm good at, I don't give out my art without me being happy. That's an expert. She understands that the moment she puts her name and a signature, it says this is who she is, this is who she wants to be, and how she wants it to be represented. You go to any plant, iPhone, anything, the last part to be put after everything is being tested is the brand. Then they put the brand on top to say, yes, we certify that this iPhone or this product is an Apple phone after it has been tested. Why? Because there is a promise that with this product, you are expecting certain expertise on it. And as a professional, when you have done and when you put your signature into something, you are putting your work and say, yes, my work has been through this. Building your name. Being an expert, it's literally building your equity. We are living part of our purpose in life. When we die, we attend funerals. We never talk about cars we have drove. We never talk about any vanity things that we have had as people. But we talk about your name, who you are, and what you stood for, and what purpose were you driving into this. And this is what you call by building an equity. Knowing your name is your value. Different skills, continuous learning, and practicing the future self. To be an expert, it's you having the power wherever you are, that the next 5 years, where you want to be, and start acting like that now. The best way to dim your future is to believe that you have reached your height mark. I talk about my business. I started from nothing. And I remember I was making a bit of money at a young age. And I started being complacent, and my mentor came to me. And he says, Kabelo, the reason you're not dreaming is because of when you started your business, you only wanted to survive. You didn't dream of something that can make a difference into the society, something that can also contribute towards the economy. And she challenged me and says that the moment you're starting to dream of your business turning 50 years old, you'll realize how far you are if your business can only afford the cars that you're driving or the things that you have. And not only dream about your business turning 50 years old, take a case study of the businesses that are 50 years old and see turnover, see the employment that they're providing. And from there on, I was charged. Because if you don't have a long-term goal, you will think that you have arrived. If you don't have that skill of being able to see your expectations will limit you, you won't be able to go far and beyond where you are. Never become so much of an expert that you stop gaining experience. View life as a continuous learning experience. Dennis Wetley. Sometimes we become too expert and it dim us for us to be able to grow. That's what happens in Africa. We have failed to have achieved, and that's why the world is able to come through with an innovation to us because of we stopped growing based on our own expertise. Another thing, attributes that contribute towards a good professionalism is preparation. The world gives to those that are prepared, not those that need it, not those that want it. You can want it as much as you want, but the world, universal law, will give you what you prepared yourself for. Being well prepared, it's one of the key aspects. And leadership, it gets so complex in a way that we don't even understand that it starts with you, how you prepare your day. If you're just going to start your day without preparing it, you have lost the day. You lose your day, you have lost your week. You lose your week, you have lost your month. You lose your month, you have lost a year. You lose a year, you have lost a decade. It started with less preparation. Never ever, as a leader or as a professional, find yourself unprepared. Rather fail on your preparation. Because the nice thing of failing when you are prepared is you are learning where you missed it. But when you fail, in the absence of preparation, you won't even know where you missed it. Understanding what it takes for the journey, where you want to be, that's part of preparation. Because preparations prepares you to say where you want to be, what will it take for you to be where your journey is going. Life does not reward those who are not prepared. Opportunity does not waste time with those who are unprepared. Ijo Goyegan. It's fine. Self-reliance. This is my personal one for professional, for SAIGA, and everyone that is here. You know, as an organization, as a country, if we can have the skill of self-reliance, when you work with people, where people could be reliant, whereby you are self-reliant. Before you trust someone else, how self-reliant are you? Self-reliant, it's one of those skills that is very key or attribute to what you to say, it starts with me. I will learn whatever it takes, whatever skill that it takes for my fellow colleague so that I can teach them who they are. If you don't have the skill of self-reliance, you cannot be, how do you expect someone else to do what you can't do yourself? And if we have that self-reliance as organization, as a country, as a continent, whereby we know once you've been given a task, you will see through that that task is done, and that self-reliance, it also comes back with who you are. Because if you understand that your signature means a lot. Your stamp means a lot. The greatest thing in the world is to know that you belong to yourself. Michael, it's whatever task, do you have self-reliant to yourself? Looking mostly at yourself, not the next person, not who's supposed to do what, when, and how. Can you trust yourself? Can you be in front of the mirror and look at yourself and say, am I self-reliant? And self-reliant goes with trust. Can you trust yourself? How then do you expect someone else to trust you if you yourself, you can't trust yourself? You can't trust yourself with the task that you have been given on a daily basis. We can't trust yourself even with your own growth. You sabotage your own growth. How about sabotaging the growth of the organization? Because of you are not even cognizant of your self-growth as a person, who you are, 5 years, your long-term goal, what do you stand for? If someone has to come now and say, what do you stand for? Where do you see yourself in the future? How would you work on this thing? Self-reliant works everywhere, in marriages as well. You can't expect someone else when you don't even have self-reliance on yourself. One of the things is it takes you to make it work, not it takes two to make it work. It takes you to make it work. Then the next person will be able to see how much effort do you put in so that they can learn from you as well. After self-reliance is the image. And maybe take a moment. You can fool people. Ask yourself, what image do you have? Do you have an image of a leader that can be influential? Do you have an image that people can trust? Do you have an image that someone will be able to gravitate towards your vision? An image is not how you dressed. It comes from the purpose. It comes from self-reliance. It comes from all these attributes that when you stand and you talk and people are able to listen to you because of they have seen you doing certain things. That's an image. What image? What is your mental image? That's another question I have. Because if we can dress like this and we don't see our mental state, how broken and how traumatic it is. Have you had a moment to look at your mental image and say, I cannot shift on Monday, be a leader, then on immediately after work I go home, I'm a monster. And you think you can fool the world and your colleagues. We can see through that as people. Because you are one person. You can't play two characters. One character is going to catch up with you. That's why it's important to always be in check of what image you have. Do you project a trustworthy image to the society? What image you have? You can't have an image of trustworthy at work, but at home, you are not trustworthy. You can't project an image whereby you're spending 8 hours of your time at work and only less time at home, but the image that you're giving at home is totally different. So part of the attributes of leadership and personal development is to develop a leader into one human being, which is the human and the being. And for you to be able to understand that, for you to be that person, you need to be one, aligned. You're not this person when you're talking to other person, and you are the other person when you're talking to someone else. What image do you have as a colleague? Be cognizant of whatever image that you have. Your children, what image they have. If your children and your colleagues, they have to stay up, they will say the same thing. This is the image that we know. A hard worker, the person who goes for the goal, the person who does everything, and everything is the same. But once you got two images, that will catch up with your work. Of course, after the image, it goes to your character. Character is ethics in action. Every day we walk around, we expose who we are. I was told that to know someone's soul, give them a moment for them to talk, then you will know who they are. Because they project who they are from the inside. It takes time and efforts to build a character. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted. Trust is the most important character trait. Question is, will you complicate the character? Can you be trusted? Can you be trusted? Can you be trusted with a task? Can you be trusted with a responsibility? Can you be trusted with a vision? Can you be trusted with a society? Can you be trusted with a nation? Can you be trusted with a continent? That's what a character is. You can't have a character without understanding self-discipline, without understanding to say no so that you can have your best. Hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anybody else expects of you. Never excuse yourself. Never pity yourself. Be hard master to yourself and to be lenient to everyone else. Henry Watt Beecher. Be hard on yourself so that you can project the character that is needed. All of us will have challenge and will have to face it. But discipline as well starts with small things. Waking up every morning, disciplines at work, doing your task, doing your best that you do, and if you can't, not leaving something that is uncompleted, that's part of discipline. You can't learn discipline when you don't know how to discipline yourself with small things. It's easy for us to push our responsibility out. It's easy. It's easy for when you have some responsibility and just push it out and say, I will do it tomorrow, I will do it next week, I will do it any other day. Tomorrow is still coming. But it's the discipline that affects your character, that affects who you are as a leader. If you can't start something and see through it that you finish, then that's where the challenge is coming. The last one, personally, I love it. If you expect extraordinary life in your life, be prepared to do extraordinary things. I was born poor. I'm a product of my mom, single parent, had 5 of us not married. And I knew that I need to do extraordinary things for me to be able to even stand where I'm standing today. I had to be hard on myself. I had to enroll myself when I had time. Every moment that I have, I need to make sure that I read and expand myself so that I can be able to have an extraordinary life. If you don't have the willingness of extraordinary performance, it's okay to settle where you are. But for you to live a certain life that can affect our society needs extraordinary performance. But I task everyone to say it's easy to have children that they look up to you and you settle for whatever life it is, without understanding that when you are putting yourself under extraordinary performance, taking your work at home and your kids seeing you performing work, that is a motivation for them. Starting to see how much you go beyond and far to prove yourself. If you don't like how things are, change it. You are not a tree. You can change your life. You can change the way you think. You are not a tree. It starts with you. Recognize what it takes to be that leader that we can all look up to. Recognize what outcome are expected from your current performance. An extraordinary performer, when you submit your report, when you submit whatever task that has been given to you, you need to make them be shocked. How did you go beyond here? Because if you just coming to deliver what is being expected out of you, there was nothing extraordinary about it. Life rewards those who seek it, not those who expect it and want it. I thank you. These are attributes to make a good leader. Leadership, professionalism is not made out of big things. It's made out of you as a person. If you are aligned with your task, if you are aligned with who you are, it becomes easy for you to be able to deliver even at work. Thank you so much.